Ever wonder why some political parties seem to have an advantage in certain districts, despite the population being fairly balanced politically? Welcome to the world of gerrymandering, a practice that's as old as the United States itself. Gerrymandering is the manipulation of electoral boundaries, often drawn in a way to favor one party or group. It's like changing the rules of the game while the game is still being played. This is not just a concept from a political science textbook. It's a real and controversial part of political discourse that affects elections and ultimately, policymaking. Now let's take a quick trip back in history. The term gerrymandering was coined in the early 19th century, named after Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry. His party redrew the state Senate election districts to their advantage, creating a shape resembling a salamander, hence the term gerrymander. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the mechanisms of gerrymandering. Now that we understand the concept, how exactly does gerrymandering work, you ask? Well, let's dive right into it. Gerrymandering is a process that typically begins after the national census, which happens every 10 years. This census provides a detailed count of the population, which is then used to redraw district boundaries based on the population shifts. The actual redrawing of the district lines is where things get tricky. It is usually the responsibility of the state legislature, and this is where gerrymandering can come into play. If one political party has control over the legislature, they can manipulate the district boundaries to favor their party. This can be done in two main ways: cracking and packing. Cracking involves spreading voters of a certain demographic or political leaning across multiple districts, diluting their voting power. On the other hand, packing means concentrating a certain group of voters into one or few districts, effectively limiting their influence to those districts only. Let's illustrate this with an example. Suppose we have a region with 50 voters, 30 of whom lean towards Party A and 20 towards Party B. If Party A is in charge of drawing the district lines, they might split the region into 5 districts in such a way that each district has 6 Party A voters and 4 Party B voters. This would ensure Party A wins all the districts, even though they only have a slight majority in the total population. This manipulation of district boundaries can have significant impacts on political outcomes. It can lead to a skewed representation that doesn't accurately reflect the will of the people, giving more power to the party in control of the redistricting process. As we can see, gerrymandering can significantly impact the political landscape. But what are the potential consequences? Scene script: gerrymandering isn't just a strategy, it's a tool with far-reaching consequences. But what exactly are these? Well, for starters, gerrymandering can skew representation. By manipulating district boundaries, a political party can secure more seats in the legislature even if they have fewer overall votes. This means that the voice of the majority isn't always heard, leading to a misrepresentation of the people's will. Furthermore, gerrymandering can have a profound impact on policy decisions. When a political party gains an unfair advantage, they can push through legislation that aligns with their interests, often at the expense of the broader public interest. Lastly, gerrymandering can threaten the very fabric of our democratic process. It fosters a system where politicians choose their voters, rather than voters choosing their politicians. This undermines the principle of fair and equal representation, a cornerstone of any vibrant democracy. With such profound impact, it's crucial to understand the countermeasures against gerrymandering. So, what can be done to prevent or mitigate the effects of gerrymandering? Well, there are several strategies that can be employed. One approach is to establish independent redistricting commissions. These are bodies free from political influence that are responsible for drawing district boundaries. They aim to ensure a fair and balanced representation, eliminating the potential for political bias. Another countermeasure is to introduce legislation that sets clear guidelines for district drawing. This can help prevent the manipulation of boundaries for political gain. Technological solutions such as algorithmic redistricting are also being explored. These use mathematical models to create impartial district maps. However, these methods are not without their challenges. Issues such as ensuring the algorithm's neutrality and handling the technical complexities involved can pose significant hurdles. Public education and awareness initiatives can also play a key role. The more informed citizens are about gerrymandering, the more they can hold their representatives accountable. Indeed, the fight against gerrymandering is ongoing. As informed citizens, it's up to us to stay vigilant and demand fair representation.